Dunn died 4 days ago, and that lettuce still looks okay. Ready-made meals on airplane trays in front of the TV. Who would have thought we'd end up eating like this? Of course. Now I see how Dunn bought the apartment he was going to share with Mary. This place has to be empty in 2 weeks for the new owners. I wonder if Sonia knows about this. Sardines. It's been open for a few hours. It's pretty clear that the burglar came by the house before heading to the gym, which means he probably didn't find what he was looking for in here. You still looked at her every morning, so many years later, with a new love? Maybe we don't need to forget. Maybe pain just transforms into, I don't know, something. This is too private. Elaine. I think that was Dunn's wife's name, according to Jake. Wow. Could Dunn really afford such luxuries? Or did he only want to impress Mary? Is this how he got in? Could this be the origin of Sonia's interest in business management? One of the very few teen idols who only got better with age. What's this doing here? It looks like Dunn had already begun to move his things. Dunn? Thorpe? No idea. And these two, they look familiar. It's hard to believe that a pair of boxing fists could play something like this, although I'm sure he had the lungs for it. Look at that. The guy sure had good taste. Art? I'll never understand how violence constitutes a valued form of entertainment. No matter how hard I look, I'm not getting anywhere. I need to talk with Sonia, and maybe with her Uncle Tim.
It brings back, I don't know.
Bad memories?
A pessimist, are we? It's like remembering the last day of summer. Scenes full of joy, picturesque landscapes, and yet the light is faint and the air is still, the calm before the storm.
I know that feeling.
I figured that much. I can see it in your eyes. We met in the Army. We were all professional athletes. They called us the Olympic Five.
Who's the guy on the right?
Angus Mitchell, our combat medic and a doctor with the New York Warriors. It was Spanow who got him assigned to our platoon.
Hey, isn't that Craig Spano? The guy on the Morley's billboards?
Yes, indeed. Our captain. He was the oldest, after all, and star of the New York Warriors. He was an orphan, you know. But he loved the sport so much that he said baseball was his family. He was the one who had Mitchell assigned to our platoon.
Who's the guy on the left?
Ah, Viktor Sukovsky, the athlete. You've probably heard of his medals.
What about you?
I had just signed with the Milestones. I hadn't even played my first game, but people said I had a bright future ahead of me.
But the war got in the way of that bright future.
Huh? No, I made it big when I came back. Best time of my life. Don't you remember that cop at the hospital? The one who let me in exchange for an autograph? Trust me, nobody calls you Iron Arm if you're just sitting on the bench. Who would have thought that I'd end up becoming Tim Iron Legs Thorpe?
What happened?
I fought the Nazis for 2 years, up there in the sky, over Europe. And I never set foot in a field hospital. 3 years later, I crossed the street without looking. And look at me now.
Was Dunn already boxing?
Yes, he was. I had already seen him fight before I even met him. He was as humble in the ring as he was in life. He'd always let his rivals take the initiative. I remember how he barely dodged the blows. If you didn't look at his feet, it seemed like he wasn't even moving. And the footwork, pure dancing. You could almost hear the music. The song would play until his opponent was exhausted. Then came the drum roll, followed by Dunn's victory by KO.
What happened to all of them?
Zukovsky died the same day they injured Dunn. Dunn received an honorable discharge and came home. He quit boxing and opened his gym. Mitchell was redeployed to a field hospital. Spano and I continued in the same unit, but nothing was ever the same. You see what I meant with the last day of summer. And after the war, well, who the hell cares?
I do. What happened to Spano?
Well, you've seen the billboards. He made it big time. When I was forced to retire, I got him some advertising deals. That's how I founded this agency. But then, something happened to him. He became sullen. He fell out of shape, and slowly but surely lost touch with reality. He withdrew from public life and broke off our friendship. Haven't heard from him in, 3 years? And believe me, I've tried to contact him.
What happened to Mitchell after the war?
Mitchell? Who knows? We lost touch. I hope he's doing well.
I think I saw Mitchell not too long ago, but I can't remember where.
Seriously? Please try to remember. I'd love to hear from him again.
I'll do my best. You think Spano might have been involved in Dunn's death?
Spano? No way. He and Dunn were always... Well, Spano's changed so much that it's hard to say. Allow me to double your wage. You have to find the murderer. Maybe Dunn stayed in touch with Mitchell or Spano. Maybe even with both. But he never told me anything. Maybe Sonia knows.
I doubt it. But that's not the only question I've got for her. May I?
Yes?
Sonia?
No. She's not here. Who's calling?
Where is she? Was your father still in...
Have you ever wished you'd never been born?
What? Luckily, that has never crossed my mind.
Then you can't help me. First time was right after moving to New York. I hated my mother. She was the reason we moved from the countryside and the smell of freshly mowed grass to this dirty city and the smell of medicine. Her medicine. The second time was after she died. I hated myself for having hated her before, for not having loved her enough. The third time was when my father shut himself off. I hated him for that, for abandoning me, for giving in to the booze. Now he's dead, so take a guess.
You've realized just how much you really loved him.
I guess so. But that's not the worst of it. The problem is I don't know how to live without hating him. Over the last few years, everything I've done was meant to push my father far away. To avoid being like him. To avoid making his same mistakes. Without him, I just don't know who I am. And you won't even let me hate Bobby, which might actually help me.
Bobby Yale is innocent. He doesn't deserve your hate.
Don't you think I know that? I need someone to blame. Without that someone, I have only myself to hate.
I'll find the person who did this. I promise.
Let me have my doubts. Although, you've already come so far. I'm sorry I haven't been a little more grateful.
In any case, you shouldn't hate yourself. You are... No, you have such good qualities. Well, there's so much that...
I can imagine. Anyway, can we just drop the subject? Did you go to my father's apartment?
Yes, the thief went there before coming to the gym, which leads me to believe he didn't find what he was looking for.
And what was he looking for?
That's what I intend to find out, with your help. I found a picture taken during the war.
The Olympic 5.
Did you meet any of them, besides your father and uncle?
Well, Uncle Tim actually isn't my uncle.
No?
He and my father loved each other like brothers. Did he tell you that he saved his life?
Thorpe saved your father?
They were flying over Brittany in a 3-unit fighter plane. Zukovsky was the pilot, my father was the co-pilot, and my uncle manned the machine gun. Suddenly, enemy fire killed Zukovsky and injured my father, which is why he never boxed again. My uncle jumped out of the gun turret, ran to the cockpit, and managed to pilot the plane to safety. Oh, the times my father told me that story. And now...
Did you ever meet Spano? What can you tell me about him?
I think I saw him once, but I was just a little girl. I think my uncle turned him into a star. was a long time ago.
I found a baseball glove with Spano's autograph in your room.
Oh, I've never seen it. My father must have put it there, although I don't remember him having a signed glove.
Did you ever meet Mitchell, the doctor?
Mitchell? The lizard? No, never. Why?
Oh, nothing. I think I've seen him somewhere. Your father sold his apartment. The new owners move in 2 weeks.
What?
I'm sorry. I think he used the money to buy a new place with Mary Purnell. You'll have to talk to her sooner or later.
My father. Even now, he finds new ways to make me hate him.
I saw your old room.
That's embarrassing. Stop, or I'll end up hating you.
It's odd that there are practically no toys or memories of your childhood in the room, except for a small music box.
That box? It might just be my last happy memory. It's from before my mother got sick and we moved here. I loved reading stories about pirates. So my father drew a treasure map for me. I searched the whole house, one clue at a time. It led me to this enormous tree in the yard where Daddy had put up a tire swing. X marks the spot, so I dug to find my treasure. I loved the music it played, the ballerina, and the little secret compartment. Oh, the secrets I kept in there.
I think it's the first time I heard you call your father Daddy.
Really?
I'm also a fan of Frank Papalia.
Oh, yeah, the poster. I only liked him because my father thought he was too modern.
Your dad had great taste in music.
So, better taste than I had as a child?
Well, now you've put me on the spot.
You don't know how happy that makes me.
Are you cold?
A little. Maybe I should go. Anyway. Thanks for the company.
I knew I was looking at a solution, but what exactly needed solving? Maybe Dunn used the same hiding place once more. I'll never understand why detectives and criminals bluster while they fight each other in the pictures. What a waste of breath, focus, and energy. Personally, I prefer to save my breath for the final roar. I'll never understand why detectives and criminals bluster while they fight each other in the pictures. What a waste of breath, focus, and energy. It's not the lack of credibility in the screenplay that bothers me. Plus, it's actually pretty handy. When a crook talks to you in the middle of a fight, you know you're up against a rookie. And if he doesn't even say, "Help me, please,"
What did they say?
nothing serious. I lost another one of my 9 lives. Oh, this hurts.
Got many left?
I'm in the red. He hasn't woken up yet?
Nope. We're gonna be here a while. Vulpine, 7 letters.
Cunning?
C-U-N-N-I-N-G. It fits. I hope it doesn't throw anything off. Yep, looks like you were right with cunning. What are you looking for?
Nothing. Will he live?
He'll live.
So what have you found out?
Randall Lee. Apparently in love with our penitentiary system, judging by the frequency of his visits. Theft, assault, extortion, minor things of the sort.
Any partners?
Always works alone. He's never ratted out his employers, provided they exist. Did you find anything? Is this our man? Do you have proof?
Looks like we know who tore his pants following Clarice Freeman up to the rooftop. His pants have a tear in them. I found a piece of that same fabric at the gym, on the stairs that lead to the rooftop where we found the second body.
Makes sense, but how many pairs of ripped pants are walking around New York City? I don't call that evidence.
The guy who broke into the gym in Dunn's place has a thing for sardines. Did you smell his breath?
Right, because there's only one sardine fanatic on this side of the Hudson. I need something more.
I saw footprints from those very same shoes next to both the gym murders.
Unless you're telling me that shoe is a limited edition, I'm gonna need something else.
One of the thugs that attacked me the other night had a snout just like his.
I'm sorry, but you can't incriminate someone based solely on species. What else you got?
What more do you need? I've given you 4 pieces of evidence.
None of which are conclusive.
He tried to throw me off the rooftop.
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. He's our man.
No, he's not our man.
Make up your mind.
He's just a puppet. Someone is pulling his strings.
Could it be Yale?
No, I'm still certain. He's innocent. By the way, was he discharged? His room is empty.
They let him out yesterday. He's in police custody now. You can tell he's an athlete. Made quite the comeback. Anyone else would have taken 10 times as long. Anyway, he better be fine. You know they've ordered me to escort him to Madison Square Garden on the day of the fight.
That's the first I hear of it.
Quick, what do you want? Good cop or bad cop?
I'm the bad guy.
Good thing someone took out the trash.
Good morning, Mr. Lee. I assume you're aware that you're about to be accused of murder, and that thanks to the witness testimonies of Mr. Blacksad and Miss Dunn, your future's not looking too good.
Go to hell, you dog.
I swear that if I catch you outside, you'll wish you were in hell.
Blacksad, stay out of this. Remember who's the cop here. Maybe we can offer you a deal. We know someone hired you to kill Joe Dunn and Clarice Freeman. What do you have to say?
I'll call your bluff. You ain't got nothing.
Your friend the Hellhorse doesn't seem to feel that way, although I'm afraid he won't be talking anymore.
Shut up, or I'll kick you out. If you tell us who hired you, we'll help you.
What can you offer me?
How much is your life worth to you?
Don't pay attention to him, Mr. Lee. We aren't vigilantes. But we can significantly reduce your sentence.
That's a start, but it's not good enough. I want in on the witness protection program. New city, new job, new identity. and a clean police record. That's the only way I'll talk. Meanwhile, I want police protection 24/7. I'm afraid that...
Whoa!
Watch out! I'm afraid that...
Whoa!
Watch out!
Luckily, Smirnov's wound wasn't as bad as Randall's. Unfortunately, the police found nothing on the nearby rooftops. Our best shot at finding the killer was gone, so I went back to my previous lead.
It's from before my mother got sick and we moved here. I loved reading stories about pirates, so my father drew a treasure map for me. I searched the whole house, one clue at a time. It led me to this enormous tree in the yard where Daddy had put up a tire swing.
Hello, Smirnoff residence.
You're
Blacksad
dead.
here.
No, I got you with my lasso.
Can you quiet down, kids?
Dunn got killed for stirring the hornet's nest.
And you confessed your crime.
Kids, please.
He'd been investigating athletes for months, including Helen Moore and Al Stone, among others. Dunn's notes aren't all that clear, and I'm not sure what he was after. But I'd say we're facing a widespread corruption case.
Well, if you're right, that could be some dangerous evidence. Bring it here ASAP.
Sure, but there's something important that I need to finish first. I wanted to follow a certain lead on my own before Smirnov had the chance to see anything. According to his notebook, Dunn had seen Craig Spano at Sam's Diner just 4 days before his death.
Scram, you son of a bitch!
Beat it or what?
Well, I can't make up my fucking mind. Either call the cops or beat your ass. Which would you prefer?
It might have been easier to slap the information out of him, but I decided to trust in a universal truth. Everyone is guilty of something. You don't know who I am, right?
Don't know and don't care. Come on, spit it out.
I'm John H. Blackmore, Public Health Inspector.
Oh, yeah, right. There are some real freaks around here, so I have to be firm, you know? Have you eaten? Dinner's on the house.
After you answer my questions.
Sure, go ahead. Your call. Always at your disposal, Inspector. Ask away.
Fear turned him soft and made him talk. Sure enough, Dunn had been there a few days back with a chimpanzee who matched Spano's description. Apparently, the guy still lived with his father. Dunn said he couldn't stay there a day more. For the time being, he would move into his place.
Wait a minute. What does Public Health Services have to do with that chimp?
The chimp died of food poisoning,
But wait! He didn't even eat!
which is even worse. Dunn had taken Spano to his place. I wanted to believe that when Randall Lee broke into the apartment, Spano fled to his former address. But where could that be? Gotcha. If the living have rich and poor neighborhoods, so do the dead. In the mid-19th century, Greenwood became the resting place to the city's most distinguished citizens. Thinkers, scientists, writers, inventors, artists, businessmen, politicians, police officers, thieves, pimps, and murderers. Here lie the bodies of the soulless minds that raised New York from the ground up. Now you know where to go to become somebody in the Big Apple. A Celtic cross. Supposedly, the ring keeps the devil at bay by reflecting the sunlight. Really handy at this time of the day. According to the book I found at Dunn's place, fans of the sport leave baseballs on Bradwick's tomb to pay their respects. It's strange that I don't see any. Maybe they're gone with the wind, or somebody claimed them as part of their inheritance. It'd be even better with a skull between the bats. The four bases guarding their father. I've never trusted angels. When they fall, they turn into demons. Still hot. I've always been a New York Warriors fan, although, to be honest, they're not what they used to be. Yep, they just haven't been the same without Craig Spano. I'm investigating a case of sports corruption. I think a considerable amount of athletes are involved, both current celebrities and former stars. I found a baseball glove at Joe Dunn's place, a glove signed by a great star. I couldn't believe my luck. Psst. Psst. Hey.
Marleys are the absolute worst.
I'm John Blacksad, private investigator.
How's Joe?
One question at a time. It's my turn.
Your turn.
Why did you meet with Joe Dunn?
Because he was looking for me. He came here one morning, but I was too embarrassed to come down. Because he left a baseball with his initials on by the tombstone. Sam's Diner, tomorrow, 12:30 a.m. Because he knew they want to kill me.
What did he want from you? And who wants to kill you?
One question at a time. How's Joe?
What would happen if I told him the truth? Would he lose it? Could I take that chance? Joe Dunn is dead. Murdered.
I told you, Joe. How did it happen?
A hitman. But he's dead now. Although whoever hired him still hasn't been punished. My turn. What did Dunn want from you?
He wanted to know who was playing dirty in the sporting business. Dirtier than usual, that is. Wrecked lives, careers, ruined at the top of the game. He wanted to know if the same had happened to me. He wanted to know if the end of my career and my disappearance had anything to do with all that. He wanted me to confirm who was behind it all. The guy who had him killed. Our old friend, the surgeon.
Is Mitchell the surgeon? Is he the person behind all of this? That surgeon you mentioned, is he...
My turn. I want to know why I should trust you.
Do it for Joe Dunn, our common friend. It's my turn. That surgeon that you mentioned, is he in this photo I got here? Ow! Hey! Hey, that toss was... Huh? Both my ear and my self-esteem would hurt for days. But at least I had a new lead to follow, the surgeon. The bastard had avoided my scrutiny by passing as a hospital doctor. But now, all of my senses were on guard. No matter how good the disguise or how well he hid, I would find him.
So what you're saying is, 1, there's a corruption scandal involving all kinds of athletes. 2, our puppet master is a surgeon named Mitchell, a man who happened to fight in the war with Dunn, right?
Maybe, but it could be no more than a false lead.
Anyway, where was I? Number 3, right? 3, since Dunn was on his trail, Mitchell, or whomever, hired an anteater to get rid of him. Then, since you were also shaking the wasp's nest, he went after you. But the anteater made a mistake, and Mitchell, or whomever, killed him to cover his own tracks. And, wait, 4. The key to all this lies with a common friend of Dunn's and Mitchell's, Craig Spenow. Do you really trust him?
I have the feeling there's something Craig didn't tell me. I don't know what exactly, but I'll find out.
4. 5. Dunn was murdered 4 days after taking Spenow to his house. If that doesn't make him suspect, makes sense, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't add up.
Why not?
Just a hunch.
Let's follow up with the suspects. You told Smirnoff you're convinced that Yale is innocent. But what about O'Leary? 6.
O'Leary wouldn't have sent Randall to kill Dunn. He would have dragged him to his basement, given him his little speech, and then killed him himself. Nah, I know O'Leary, and he wouldn't have sent a hitman. He would have taken matters into his own hands.
What about Cassidy? 7, right?
I think it's safe to rule out Cassidy as Dunn's murderer. He seems too impulsive to have planned such a twisted crime. Whoever planned the whole thing knew the suicide theory would fall through, so he manipulated the clues to incriminate Yale. Cassidy is too impulsive to pull off such an intricate plan.
So, even if you have your doubts, Mitchell is the one pulling the strings. And you know why? Because in novels, the murderer is always someone the detective knows from the beginning.
Well, that could be the case in British novels. You know, where everyone in the mansion where the murder took place is a suspect. But this might just be an American whodunit, where the detective doesn't even meet the culprit until the last scene.
You mean we still don't know who's pulling the strings?
I didn't say that. How did it go with Helen Moore?
I didn't get anything, even though it started out really well. I asked to interview her along with her boyfriend, Al Stone. Since I'm a big shot, they were happy to oblige. Perfect. Now, time for the interview. I'll go back and forth so you don't get bored. So, who goes first? Here's one for both of you. How did you meet?
At the party organized by Des...
Al, who threw the party doesn't matter one bit. What matters is that I saw you and you saw me. Our paths crossed and our lives were changed forever.
Okay, now... Here's a question for Al. Are you ever jealous about sharing your sweetheart with America?
Yeah,
Nonsense. America has my smile, my figure, and my patriotic love. Everything else, and I mean everything, belongs to Al. Right, baby?
Yeah, that's right.
moving on. Here's one for Helen. What can you say about the rumors that claim you were in a relationship with Desmond O'Leary?
Oh, honey. It would be such a shame to mention that shady character in your article, wouldn't it?
Well, why?
I'm sure your newspaper would hate to fire someone as talented as you.
Oh. Okay. Now what? So, Al. Your manager is Frank Cassidy, president of the Boxing Managers Association of New York. According to him, only boxers working with member managers should be allowed to compete. What do you think about that?
We never talk politics, honey. Athletes should steer clear of controversy and stay focused on their sport, don't you think?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, one more question, and...
Al, honey, can you answer it? I've gotta go say hi to a fan. I'll be right back, Mr. Pulitzer.
Wait. You mean she stopped smiling when that fan showed up?
Yeah.
Could you describe him for me?
I'll be able to show you something as soon as I'm done developing these pictures. And actually, I thought it was odd too. So while I continued to interview Stone, I managed to take some pictures of Moore and whoever her mysterious fan was. All right, so where were we? In just 12 days, the contender will try to steal your belt. Any thoughts on your fight against Yale?
Well, supposedly the odds are in my favor, but there's no such thing as a weak rival. And, you know, Bobby Yale might be young and going through a rough patch, but he's had an amazing streak, so I'll do my best.
Your manager is Frank Cassidy, president of the Boxing Managers Association of New York. According to him, only boxers working with member managers should be allowed to compete. What do you think about that?
Cassidy is a great manager, really. No complaints there. And the work he's putting in as president of the association is really valuable. But, I don't know, maybe in this case, Joe Dunn was right. Wait, no. Could you keep that last comment off the record? You know, on the down low.
My lips are sealed. Are you ever jealous about sharing your sweetheart with America?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm jealous, but I know that someone so popular and honest can draw the wrong kind of attention. There are plenty of people who would love to put an end to her career, so it's not easy.
Let's get that picture taken. Okay, now raise your head and your arms up like you were celebrating a victory.
Like this?
Exactly. Wait, I accidentally moved. Stand still. I'll take another one. What's with me today? Don't move, please. Now we got it. Should we keep at it? I'm going to take one more, all right? Turn around and show me those biceps from behind.
Like that?
That's it. What's up with me? Stand still. I'll take it again. I can't seem to get it right. Don't move. It's about time. Finally, we're all set.
Wait. So, are you telling me the photos are developed? Or is that what you said to Stone?
Both. Just look.
Who's that guy?
I know he's not a fan. You should have seen her face when she saw him. How much do you think each bicep weighs?
A lot, but less than your tongue.
You're hilarious.
Look at his hand. Is he pulling something out of Moore's purse or putting it in? That's a decent picture, but it doesn't tell the truth.
Huh? Of course it's the truth. I was there.
Stone isn't as strong as he looks, and Moore certainly doesn't need him to lift her up. I think she only smokes when she's nervous. What was making her nervous? I've seen that matchbox before. Wait, that's him.
Who?
Mitchell, the surgeon.
Seriously? We got him.
Not yet.
Right. We still have to find him. Hey, pal. Did you hear what I just said? We need to keep looking at all those pictures. We need a clue that'll take us to Mitchell. Hey, see? There. Just like I was saying.
Brawls aren't even the worst part of my job. Sure, you may take a beating, but at least you get the chance to defend yourself. But when you're sitting in your car all night, there's no way out. Your legs cramp up, your back and neck feel stiff. Your entire body aches to be somewhere else. It's boring and repetitive. People were finally leaving the place. The bar was about to close. And I hadn't seen Mitchell go in or out. I had no choice.
I see you took me up on my invitation. And you're smart. You knew not to come until my anti-fur regulars had all cleared out.
I can't say no to good advice.
Or good bourbon. Here's looking at you, Mr. What was your name?
As far as I knew, La Iguana always stayed neutral. He played poker with Cassidy, but his joint was used as the gambling drop-off for O'Leary's operation. Did it make sense to keep faking it? Or was it too dangerous not to?
Farnham. Howard M. Farnham II.
That's right. Howard Farnham from Ding Dong, Texas. You're natural. You're even better at pool than poker.
This here's much easier. No cheating.
You barely flinched when Cassidy decided to teach that ego a lesson.
What do you want a fella to say? Between you and me, partner, this ain't my first showdown. We all got our own lethal barber.
Damn it.
Well, nobody's perfect. Tell me, what do you really want with Cassidy? I can't say it's clear to me.
I'm looking to start a boxing managers association in Texas. I could really use Cassidy's know-how.
Don't worry about it. I was only curious. So, what about me? What do you want from me? No one comes to La Iguana just to drink and play pool.
I'm here looking for a regular of yours, Dr. Angus Mitchell.
What for?
That's between Dr. Mitchell and myself. No offense.
I don't have time to explain how things work here at La Iguana, but I'll be blunt. Not this way.
You don't understand. I have to talk to him, or else.
Or else what?
I don't think Cassidy would be too happy about the role this here dump plays in old Leary's gambling operation. You follow me?
Son of a bitch. Ha ha ha. All right. Give me your phone number, and I'll give you a call when Mitchell shows up.
No. You're gonna call him right now, and you're gonna give him this message. But when you're sitting in your car all night, there's no way out. Your legs cramp up, your back and neck feel stiff, your entire body aches to be somewhere else. It's boring and repetitive. It's so bad that your thoughts spiral in a never-ending loop, like when you're stuck in your car, on surveillance duty. The owner of La Iguana was supposed to tell Mitchell that a certain anteater was still alive, and that it was only a matter of time before he ratted him out. With a bit of luck, that would make him nervous enough to force his hand. Now all I had to do was follow him.
We'll be just fine, don't worry. Gil, stand guard right here. If the cat shows up, you know what to do. I'll be back in an hour.
Could I take him by surprise from over there? Although I don't know how I'd get there. When you want to be silent, noise can be your best ally. I did mess up a guy's face with an extinguisher once, but this kind is too heavy for my current needs. What does this place have to hide? It could be an Ojibwa totem pole, in which case the top animal would be a crane. If I'm not mistaken, these are incense sticks, used in cleansing rituals. A dream catcher. It's supposed to protect children during the night, trapping all evil in its spider web. According to this, the warehouse belonged to a Canadian import company. Don't you even think of screaming.
I might not even talk.
It looks like an arrowhead. Everything seems to prove that Gil is a Native American, and I'm almost sure that the woman in the picture is his mother. You know who'll always believe in you? Your mother. My mother never lost her faith in me, and I gave her plenty of reasons when I was a kid. I was a terrible student. I flunked absolutely everything. Somehow my mother managed to keep me in school until I got into college, but I never gave her reasons to believe in me then either. I made new friends. The type of friends that convince you to do things that wouldn't make a mother proud. Then Pearl Harbor happened. I got drafted and sent to Europe. They told me killing was my moral duty, but I discovered it could be addictive. Not all victims were Nazis. But when I got back, I was treated like a pariah, a veteran outcast who never should have come back in the first place. And yet, my mother never ceased to...
I also fought in the war. That's where I met Mitchell. They used me, like many of my people. And then they just tossed us aside. The first time Mitchell offered me to do this, I told him to take a hike. I wanted to get my act together, but I ended up begging him. I don't like Mitchell. I don't like the things he makes me do. I don't like that German rat either. But what I like least of all is myself. I don't like what I did during the war, and I don't like what I'm doing now. Do you know what it's like to kill a friend for the sake of the mission? Huh. But my mother, she always thought I'd make amends and start anew. Maybe it's time I did just that. It's number 3.
Mitchell, who fought with Dunn during the war, tried to pass as Yale's doctor. Of course, he's Randall Lee's partner. I should be careful. When they gave me a beating, I could see he was kinda trigger happy. What if it was Gil who killed his partner, Randall Lee, under Mitchell's orders?
Go in!
Hey,
You
it's all right. Don't be afraid, little girl. I'm a friend, okay?
Vita, no hurt.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess called...
Brunhilda.
Hi, my name is Brunhilde, and I'm very happy.
said Brunhilde. And then Brunhilde, who had a beautiful name,
Really beautiful.
a really beautiful name, ran into someone very special.
Oh, who was it?
A magical cat called John.
I'm a magical cat, and my name is John. Hi, John the cat. I really like magical cats. Hi, Brunhilde. I'm going to use my magical power to help you bake some delicious pies. I love pies. Which is your favorite? Wow, that's a very hard question. But John the cat, it's the easiest question in the world. Let me show you how easy it is. My favorite pie is... blueberry! Whoa, Brunhilde. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Bird. Bird. John. Brunhilda. Freund. Do play. Each look.
Okay.
Hi, Bird. Why are you wearing that mask?
Weil. Gas.
Well, maybe we should get out of here. What do you think, Bird? And what about you, Brunhilde? Don't you think that?
A list of names, somehow related to chemical agents?
Subject, Brunhilde Gruner. Treatment, day 1500. The patient's ability to speak continues to diminish. Now she can only pronounce the occasional word in German. Tissue degeneration persists. And yet, perhaps due to drastic reduction of benzylprodine dosage and an increase of anupropion, we have observed a 3% of deceleration of said degeneration. Furthermore, and perhaps this is the best finding so far, the subject exhibits a mild recovery of her speaking. It's not a lot, and yet we are on the right track. All hope is not lost. Subject, Craig Spano. Treatment, day 0. The subject is a veteran baseball player who has lost speed, strength, and agility due to the regular aging process. The patient refers intense pain on the right scapula, most likely caused by an old injury. The goals of our medical approach are twofold: to relieve pain caused by the prior injury so that the subject can play without symptoms, and to help the patient regain the physical condition lost in the aging process, thus allowing him to perform at elite levels. Treatment, day 120. The patient no longer feels pain when using his right arm, circumstance that allows him to pitch without fear. So far, the only side effect seems to be a slight euphoria experienced 3 hours after dosage, which subsides 4 hours later, taking the patient on an emotional roller coaster of sorts with bouts of mild trembling. Treatment, day 341. Moments of euphoria and boosted physical performance have become increasingly short, while the ensuing periods of depression and weakness have become longer, including severe tremor. Although we have met all therapeutic goals, we will proceed to terminate the treatment in order to avoid causing irreparable physical and mental damage to the patient.
Mitchell is cashing in by selling drugs to enhance athletes' performances. The worst part of Mitchell's scheme isn't that it's illegal or unethical, it's that he didn't even care about compromising the athlete's health.
Gil? You know you're not allowed down here. You know you're not allowed.
You bastard! I kill you right here, right now!
I don't know.
You don't know? I know you're testing drugs on that girl.
Brunhilde? No, she's my daughter. She was born with a degenerative disease, a rare condition similar to the Angelman syndrome. There are only 4 known cases like hers, and none of the patients reached the age of 5. But I couldn't give up. I continued to research and found something. It didn't make her better, but anyway, that same treatment used on healthy subjects seems to improve their stamina and their reflexes. It also seems to improve their pain threshold. Somehow, the Reich heard about my experiments and tried to recruit me to create super soldiers. Yes, that Reich. We're talking late 30s, Berlin. I escaped with Brunhilde and came to your country. But the American military also heard about me. I spent the entire war experimenting with drugs on soldiers. Some were highly effective, I must say. When the war was over, my experiments were discarded. I was forbidden all access to the drugs, and Brunhilde got worse. But then God sent me Angus Mitchell. We had met during the war, and he came to offer me a deal. I would make drugs for athletes, and he would sell them. With my earnings, I could pay for Brunhilde's treatment. What else do you want me to say?
I noticed Yale's name appears twice on your list of athletes. One mention was crossed out. Why?
I don't know. A couple of months ago, Mitchell told me to prepare pills suited to his profile. But a week ago, he told me to stop. And then 2 days ago, he asked me to make them again.
About those pills. What is he looking at?
Don't dwell on it, Josh. You had to tell him the truth in order to protect Brunhilde. I would have done the same thing. Finish packing up your things and stop torturing yourself, okay?
Thanks, Angus. I won't be long.
Oh, honey. You like living here? Yeah, me too. But we have to go somewhere else, and it's all that bad cat's fault. Yes, sweetie. We're going to a new home now. A prettier one, and you'll be happier there. Now go with Papa, honey. Give him a kiss. Go on. Give him a kiss. Go on. I'm sorry about this, Josh, but we gave it our best, didn't we?
Huh? What? What do you mean, Angus?
I wish it hadn't come to this.
Angus, what's wrong?
Goodbye, Josh. I hope you're happy, you son of a bitch. They were good people. I hope that made you feel better. I like it when you smile. You're so far from the truth. What the?
The mask would buy me a bit of extra time. The question was, how much? Spano just ran out that way. The mask was barely working. I needed fresh air.
Did you miss me? Who wants to see a home run? Now you're gonna see. Bring it on! Let's go!
No.
Don't torture yourself. You did everything you could.
Will he make it?
The doctors think so. They found him unconscious by the basement door.
What? Could Gil have blocked the basement door from the outside to kill Mitchell?
You think? That's a serious accusation. Are you sure, or is this just a theory of yours?
It's just a theory. Let's hope we get the truth out of him.
Huh. You think Gil was involved in the previous murders?
What if it was Gil who killed his partner Randall Lee under Mitchell's orders?
Another serious accusation. Are you sure? Wait, couldn't Mitchell be Randall Lee's murderer?
So he misses with 2 shots at point-blank range, and then he hits a guy smack in the forehead from across the street? No. Mitchell is not the sniper who wiped out Randall Lee.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But we still don't know what caused Craig Spano's death.
There's no doubt about it. Spano took drugs from the lab, and they killed him.
But if that were true, how many more athletes are in danger? And most importantly, who are they? Is Bobby Yale involved?
I didn't see them all, but write down these names. Peter Lowe, Xavier Chains, Helen Moore, Bill Goldman, Miles Benton, Alexander Wood, Jacob Ziegler, and yes, Bobby Yale.
Thanks. Saving lives for a change, huh? In any case, this has gotta stop. We're friends, damn it. You should have warned me about this.
I should have let you know. I'm sorry.
Hey, John. Surprise. It could have given a tip to a friend, don't you think? Or is that only the case when I help you?
Get that guy out of here. All right. Let's get this over with. When the war ended, Mitchell convinced Groon to use his super soldier drugs on elite athletes. Somehow, Dunn found out about Mitchell's scheme. So when Mitchell heard that Dunn was onto him, he ordered Randall Lee to kill him and frame Yale for the murder. Then, he made Randall search Dunn's house and the gym for any incriminating evidence he might have had against him. The poor cleaning lady died almost by chance. When you stuck your nose in the case, he tried to scare you by sending his thugs to give you a beating. And when that didn't work, he asked Randall Lee to finish you off on the gym rooftop. But Randall not only failed, he got captured. So Mitchell ordered Gil to put a bullet through his head, which only made Gil upset. You kept getting closer and closer to the point of discovering his headquarters. When Mitchell realized he was cornered, he burned his bridges by setting the lab on fire, along with Dr. Groon and his daughter. Gil saw the opportunity to get back at Mitchell, so he blocked the only exit so that he would also die in the fire. Did I leave any loose ends?
Just a few. But don't worry about it. I'll take care of them now. So I guess thanks for everything. In your classic noir films and novels, solving a case never amounts to a happy ending. The detective is always left with a sense of bitterness. A feeling that, before he took the case, the world was a better place. That he was a better person.
Come on, now speed it out!
Sometimes I just let my character get the best of me.
What do you want from me?
I told Stone what I knew, that he was going to let Yale win, that if he didn't, O'Leary would destroy Helen Moore's career, and that Moore was doomed either way, or would be as soon as America discovered her sweetheart was on drugs.
I don't believe you. No way. Who sent you?
Today? Nobody.
And what if I did believe you? What would that change? If I don't do this for her, how could I ever look her in the eyes? How could we stay together?
You think you'll stay together when you lose your title and they accuse her of doping?
At least I know I tried.
O'Leary's world is long gone. Now TV rules the roost. Sporting scandals and rigged fights can only reduce their credibility, not to mention their ratings. If you take a dive and word gets out, you lose much more than just a fight.
Is it all about being professional to you?
Suit yourself. But trust me, your manager is a murderer. Get as far away from him as possible.
Hey, Blacksad! I'll think about it.
Yale confirmed to me that Dunn found out that Mitchell was giving him meds. That was the reason they argued the evening of his death.
In fact, I was clean at the time. Hadn't used for days. I didn't want to go down that road. I wanted to follow Joe.
But he discovered everything.
He didn't believe me when I said I had nothing to do with it.
But you used again.
Only after his death. I needed to cope.
But the drugs gave you a panic attack.
Yeah. But I've been clean ever since.
Mitchell gave you the pills when he stopped by the hospital. Hence, your miraculous recovery. Are you planning on taking them before the fight? Don't do it, Bobby.
Someone has to save the gym. I owe it to Joe, and Sonia, and my Aunt Mary.
Your father would never have done this.
What?
I told Yale everything I knew about his father's death. I couldn't say how he took it. Just like I can't tie it to the mysterious drowning of Desmond O'Leary, who appeared dead in the Hudson River next to Pier 27 several weeks later. Stone and Yale hadn't taken away the bitterness I felt. I needed a friend. He was outraged that I hadn't given him the tip, but he let it go as soon as I bought him a milkshake. After the perfect storm of corruption and murder, only friendship could reconcile me with the world. Only that could make me believe in mankind again. Only that could cleanse my soul. Only that, and money. In your standard noir novel, Yale and Stone would be punished for breaking the rules. There would be justice for Sonia, the victim. But this was the real world. As the detective who had cracked the case, I just had to get my paycheck and be on my way.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Blacksad. Mr. Thorpe is on his way. Care to take a seat while you wait?
Did he tell you why he's running late?
He'll be here in a minute. Please, take a seat.
No matter how many curveballs destiny throws his way, he always manages to land on his feet. When he was a rising sports talent, the war put an end to his career, so he became a war hero. After the war, He didn't end up like Gil or like me. He became an elite athlete, a Hall of Fame football star. When an accident left him in a wheelchair, he went on to succeed in advertising. That's not possible. But what if Tim Thorpe was somehow involved in Mitchell's operation?
Mr. Blacksad? Mr. Thorpe is running later than expected, but he insists on meeting you, if you don't mind.
Sure, as long as you help me fight off this boredom.
That's not in my job description, but...
If my hunch is right, there should be a meeting with Mitchell noted somewhere in Thorpe's agenda. If I had her markings on my skin, would I be the same person? Would my name be different? Well, you see, I've got a problem. In order to figure out how much Mr. Thorpe owes me, I need to know what day I started working on the case. But I can't remember. You wouldn't have that written down, would you?
It sure wasn't on my shift. I'd remember. Let me see.
What? Dunn was here 2 days before he died? Why didn't Thorpe ever mention that?
I'm sorry, but your name's not on here.
Wait, I just remembered something. The day I came, Joe Dunn had just walked out the door.
Well, no. You don't have any appointments. Although, I guess I could have forgotten to write you in. Mr. Dunn, who's usually very kind, left in a flurry. He even slammed Mr. Thorpe's door.
Okay. Now I know I have to get into Thorpe's office.
And he didn't even say goodbye.
Yes, that was the day. You don't recall me because the minute I saw Dunn stomp out, I followed him. I never actually came in.
Of course. That explains it.
No doubt. So, since it looks like Mr. Thorpe won't be here soon, I think I'll go take a walk down the hall. Gotta stay in shape. Come on, Thorpe. Tell me there's a back door to your office. So, you had something to do with that chest expander after all. If Weekly were here, I'd have to tie his hands behind his back. Cats aren't afraid of heights. That's why I've never felt vertigo. In my experience, when something looks really good, it ends up smelling really bad. It's a bit strange to see no office chair behind a desk until you remember the desk's owner is in a wheelchair. Of course. Oh, crap. Why am I surprised? In every investigation, there comes a point where every single lead seems to go down the drain. And you have to retrace your steps to get back on the right track. I better not use it. It might be connected to the switchboard at the front desk. One of the strengths, the accuracy of his throw. I earned the nickname Iron Arm. I used to throw the ball in 50 miles, and yeah, whenever it wanted. My coach, the great Joffrey Sachs. And so I worked hard. Pearl Harbor. I enlisted immediately. After losing a partner in combat, a serious injury, I asked to be relocated. I became a sniper. I know I shouldn't say this, but I was one of the best in the Army, and it was all thanks to my accuracy. No, it was all thanks to Jeffrey Sachs. I wonder how many Americans that man saved with my arm. After these words, Tim Thorpe is moved almost to tears and asks me to take a break. It's shocking to see how an athlete and soldier, a man whose aim and skill won him a Medal of Honor and the nickname Surgeon among his brothers in arms. That can't be. I mean, it could be a coincidence, but no. That's it. Thorpe is the man behind the whole drug operation. Wait, what if Groon's drugs helped Thorpe walk? course, it wasn't Mitchell or Gil. It was Thorpe who shot Randall at the hospital. Everything adds up now. And yet I can already hear Smirnov telling me I have no conclusive evidence. What if I set a trap for Thorpe? But how? Ha! What if I place Thorpe's gun up there and corner him so that he has to stand up to get it? The show was about to begin. All I needed was an audience and some patience.
Stop it!
Arr! Don't you know who you're dealing with, matey?
What a silly man.
Mutiny! You wants to be shark bait, do ya? Oh, Blacksad. I feel terrible for keeping you waiting.
John.
But you see, there was mutiny on board, so...
Stop!
You see what I have to put up with. All right, helmswoman, to the cabin with you! Onward!
Aye, aye, Captain.
Come along, Blacksad. Julie, don't let anyone bother us. Honey, will you wait in the boardroom for me, please?
But...
I'll just be a minute then. I think you've already suffered enough.
Okay.
And think about where you'd like to have dinner tonight, okay? You see, I'm not gonna pay you for solving the case.
Wow. I thought you were the kind of man who is true to his word.
No, it's not that. You'll get every penny we agreed on, and more. But not because you solved the case, but for her. 2 days ago, she wanted to end it all. Drop out of college, sell the gym. Too many wounds to heal. But through your incredible work, you managed to heal them. Well, perhaps not completely. It takes time to get over something like this. But at least, thanks to you, Sonia wants to be happy. She has hope. I'm going to help her make Dunn's Gym the best in the city. Who would have ever guessed it, huh?
I'm happy for her. She's been through a lot, and honestly, I wasn't sure she'd make it.
Well, she hasn't just yet. But she will in time. Anyway, back to the case. All those people you confronted. Gil, the German doctor, even Mitchell. Huh. I would have never suspected him. Did they say anything? Why did they do it? Did they mention any accomplices?
They did mention a certain surgeon.
Surgeon? You have any idea who that could be?
I'm sure this comes as no surprise, but it was Angus Mitchell himself. In fact, you gave me the lead by telling me he was a doctor.
Sure, yeah, sure. I'm glad I could help, you see, besides my esteem for Joe and Sonia, this ordeal really hits close to home.
No doubt. I understand.
Sports are my livelihood. Do you know how many of the athletes involved have a deal with me?
How do you know that?
What?
Oh, wait. Sonia told you.
Yes, that's it. Sonia told me.
That's funny. I never told Sonia.
Well then, do you know how many of the athletes involved have a deal with me?
I think I have a slight idea.
So far, the papers only talk about bodies down at the docks and an illegal lab. Not one has mentioned the athletes. But if one word gets out, this agency's future could be on the line. Not to mention Sonia's and the gym's. Could I ask you to be discreet?
I'm sorry to say your future is already on the line.
What do you mean?
I wasn't completely honest with you before. I know you're the surgeon. A journalist told me. Ring a bell?
I'm sure you've got good intentions, but you're wrong. What makes you think that? I'm sure there's an explanation.
I know that you are a highly skilled sniper, and I think it was you who shot Randall Lee at the hospital.
Have you seen me, Blacksad? How could I possibly do that?
Don't deny it. I know Mitchell gave him to you.
People see a wheelchair and think, poor guy, he can't walk. But there's so much more to it than that. Some nights I can't even sleep from the pain.
That doesn't explain why you didn't tell me you knew about those drugs.
I hired you to solve this damn case. You think that's what a murderer would do?
Only because you thought I'd blame Bobby Yale and drop the case. But as soon as I realized something wasn't right, you sent Randall Lee and Gil to give me a scare. And when all that failed, you ordered Lee to kill me.
You're the type that won't open his jaws once he's got his prey, aren't you?
You're right. I never let go of my prey.
Put yourself in my place for a minute. You're a promising football player who just got back from the war, but you're still a nobody. The man you saved kindly opens his house to you, and that man is still undone by his wife's passing. He works all day at his gym, and he drinks himself to sleep at night. So you practically end up raising his daughter. You give her her very first abacus. You encourage her to further her education. You comfort her when she misses her mother and her father. Meanwhile, your sporting career takes off. Life is good. Until one day, out of the blue, an accident cripples you. An old friend, Mitchell, tells you he knows someone who can help you. A German doctor. His drugs take some time to work, but they do wonders. You manage to walk for short bursts at a time, little by little. And those bursts keep getting longer. But the drugs aren't cheap at all. So you have to find a way to pay for them, don't you see?
So you started by selling drugs to athletes. Then you decided to start an advertising agency to hire those same athletes. Drugs would help them excel, and you'd get better ad deals. The perfect business model. Your first client? Craig Spano. His career had hit a rough patch, so... He was the guinea pig for your new operation. And yet, when the drug started having serious side effects, you got rid of him. Afraid he would talk, you tried to kill him. That's why he hid. From then on, your business was smooth sailing. You even began to think you were above the law. You thought that you were untouchable. Until Joe Dunn found out, and then, 2 days before his unfortunate death, he came to see you.
That's enough now! You stop it! Now, I don't know if I'm above the law, but I am sure as hell not beneath it. Do you know how much power I have? The kind of people I eat with every day? I could shoot you right now, and nothing would happen to me.
With that gun you keep in your drawer? I'm afraid not. I placed your pistol out of reach, just in case you happen to confirm my suspicions, Iron Arm. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have an appointment with the police.
I won't let anyone wreck my life again. Sonia and I, we deserve a future.
You can come in now, Smirnoff.
Timothy Wilson Thorpe, drop your weapon. You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the state will provide one for you. Mr. Thorpe. Sonia Dunn, you are under arrest for the death of Timothy Wilson Thorpe. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the state will provide one for you. Do you understand these rights as I have just read them to you? With these rights in mind, do you wish to speak to me? Watch your step.
After everything that had happened, the last thing I was interested in was the fight. Did Yale take drugs before the fight? Did Stone let him win? I had done everything in my power for things to go the way my moral compass dictated. Whether anyone would listen to me, that was another story. Because no matter what they tell us, our actions don't always determine our future. My moral compass. As if I even knew what that means. I didn't even know what to think of my performance throughout the case. Did I have a clear conscience? Would I have made the same decisions, given the chance?